top spot with a game to spare as Dortmund come forward again on the left-hand side. Reina looking to get forward, nothing given. And the free kick will go Dortmund's way eventually. Foul for the challenge of Mahrez. Referee is from Italy this evening, Davide Massa. So, Dortmund to get on their way again. Sula gives it back to the captain, Hummels, by far the most experienced of the starting 11 for Dortmund this evening. Hummels inside the Dortmund penalty area. Hummels plays it up to Bellingham with a touch from the England international, gets it back again from Sula. Sula plays it now to Hummels. Hummels sending the ball forward here for Dortmund. Coco trying to turn. Possession won back by Manchester City. So Gundogan gives it to Rodri. Here is Ruben Diaz for Manchester City. Halfway inside the Manchester City half, gives it to Nathan Ake. Ake just pushing forward slowly before rolling a pass out to the right-hand side to John Stones, who's playing as a right back this evening. We could change into a back three. It's starting to look a bit more like a back three than a back four, with Cancelo and Mahrez supplying the width. So Diaz lays it out to Stones, and now Rodri. Back to Diaz again, and Ortega passing the ball forward to Gundogan, compressing from Dortmund, but such calm possession play from Manchester City, passing their way out of trouble inside their own penalty area. They make it look so easy at times as Ake comes forward towards the halfway line, exchanging passes with Phil Foden. Gives it back to Ake yet again. And to the left-hand side to Cancelo. Cancelo right on the halfway line, on the touchline. Guardiola pacing behind him, shouting instructions as he so often does. Played back to Ortega in the Manchester City goal and finds Ruben Diaz. Now Gundogan gives it back to Diaz again, back to Gundogan once more. Pass intercepted. Sula gets his head to the ball ahead of Phil Foden, and it will be with Kobel in the Dortmund goal. Almost 6 minutes played in the first half here. It's Dortmund 0, Manchester City 0. Played out to the left-hand side by Dortmund, given away, and Gundogan gets it under control for Manchester City, driving towards the penalty area. Looks to slip it into Alvarez, who tried to let it run for Riyad Mahrez. Dortmund were able to clear. Now Cancelo is beaten to the ball, and Adeyemi driving forward. Was he fouled? There he was. Decent position from the shooting range, just to the right of the penalty area, and about 25 yards from goal. It's a yellow card as well for Joao Cancelo, who is trying to atone for his slip on the halfway line, but allowed Adeyemi to drive forward for Dortmund. It was a challenge by Joao Cancelo that ultimately led to the foul. And it's a good position here for the home side. Brandt has gone across to stand over this set piece. The game handed out to Joao Cancelo. Such an impressive performer for Manchester City this season. As Brandt gets ready to deliver the free kick, he's within shooting range. Maybe eyeing this one up, right-footed, just to the right of the penalty area from a Dortmund perspective. So Brandt looking to bend it round the two-man wall, which he does, and misses the target by a huge amount. Julian Brandt trying to catch out Ortega. Looks reasonably comfortable for the Manchester City goalkeeper, who seemed confident the ball would sail past him and wide of the post. It's Manchester City to build again from the back. It's with Ruben Diaz now. Inside Manchester City half. Gundogan run up to the halfway line to Foden. Foden back again to Nathan Ake. Ake back towards the middle, where it's picked up by Rodri in the centre circle. Plays the ball out to Stones on the right-hand side. Mahrez had started to make a run, but just drifted into an offside position, so Rodri went for the shorter pass, and the ball is cleared by Torgan Hazard now for a throw for City, which will be taken by John Stones. Stones back towards the centre circle. Rodri under pressure from Mukoku finds Nathan Ake, and now Foden. Foden slipping the ball out to the left, and here is Joao Cancelo. First time cross into the penalty area, almost gets a foot to it and clears. Andy Yami has it now for Borussia Dortmund, just outside the home team's penalty area. Smalls tries to get away and got himself into a little bit of trouble. Just about managed to clear, and Ake plays it back to Ortega. The Manchester City goal is now with Ruben Diaz. To Nathan Ake, crosses the halfway line and finds Phil Foden, skips away from the challenge by Sula and gives it to Haaland, who wrestles possession back and plays it to Cancelo. And now Nathan Ake into the centre circle for Rodri. And here is Ruben Diaz playing it out to the right-hand side to John Stones, keeping possession well against this Dortmund side at the moment. Manchester City, as they're doing in so many teams, of course. It is Nathan Ake again. Inside the Dortmund half, plays it back to Ruben Diaz. Gundogan turns inside the centre circle, plays it for Foden. Now Ake has it and plays it out to the left to Cancelo on the touchline. Back inside to Foden. Back again to the halfway line to Ake. Now Rodri. Rodri looking for the cross-field ball. High, aimed at Riyad Mahrez, who controls it beautifully. On the right-hand side, taking on Torgan Hazard. Skips away from that challenge. Closed down by Reina. And then Mahrez gives it to Stones, and then Rodri floats him into the penalty area. Cancelo at the back post, heading it across. Foden looking for Haaland. And it's cleared away by Hummels again for a Manchester City throw, but lovely football again from Pep Guardiola's team. Make it look so simple. It's wonderful build-up play. It's just like in that final ball from Foden on that occasion. Mahrez gets hold of it. The right-hand touchline, comes inside, gives it to Ake, who lets it run out to the left to Joao Cancelo. Cancelo back to Ake, inside the Dortmund half here. Manchester City starting to assert their dominance of the ball. So Gundogan picks it up, gives it to Foden. Foden then to Ake, and then to Cancelo, controls it brilliantly on the touchline on the left-hand side, and edges towards the penalty area, across to the far post, over Haaland, over everybody, and out of play for a goal kick to Dortmund. And it's still 0-0 with 11 minutes gone in the first half. Signal Iduna Park. Just a reminder that in the early games, in this group finished 3-0 to Sevilla. Home win against FC Copenhagen, so 3 points for them, which just keeps their hopes alive of qualifying for the next stage. And one of the other earlier kickoffs, Salzburg beaten at home by Chelsea 2-1. Needed a winner in the second half from Chelsea. So Manchester City come away from their own penalty area after a little bit of defensive work, and Mahrez and Haaland trying to link up on the right-hand side. Shuffler back, winning it back briefly for Dortmund, and it's out of play for a throw-in to the home side now. Other games this evening have all kicked off. No goals anywhere so far. Benfica 0, Juventus 0, Celtic 0, Shakhtar 0, Dinamo Zagreb 0, AC Milan 0, PSG, Maccabi Haifa is goalless, and RB Leipzig against Real Madrid also 0-0 as things stand, as it is here at Signal Iduna Park. And Manchester City Dortmund come forward, and play to Mukoku, knocks it back into the Dortmund half. It was played across to Sula, whose header can only find Joao Cancelo. Gundogan now getting the ball under control for Manchester City and finding Ruben Diaz halfway inside the City half. It's with Nathan Ake, gives it to Gundogan. Gundogan side to Rodri. To the left, or to the right I should say, finds Stones, and now Ruben Diaz, quick quickly moved on by Gundogan. Trying to get forward here, Manchester City. Gundogan again slips it forward for Foden. Foden is trying to play the ball down the left-hand side with Cancelo making a run. Been in plenty of space, Joao Cancelo. If he had managed to get on the end of that ball, it was intercepted. And Dortmund now have it with Hummels. Hummels looking up, captain playing it long out to the left. It's a decent ball as well. Captain played by Torgan Hazard. Gets the ball back again from Julian Brandt and plays it back to Schlotterbeck. Again goes out wide to the left-hand side. They're trying to find a way through. Won't be able to do so now. As Emre Can is dispossessed by Erling Haaland. Caught out there, the former Liverpool midfielder, and City looking to break down the right-hand side. It's Riyad Mahrez driving forward, halfway inside the Dortmund half, checks his run and gives it to Rodri, who tries the effort from long range and never really got hold of it. Bobbles harmlessly wide of the Dortmund goal. Guardiola looking on in frustration, a wasted counter-attack opportunity there from Manchester City, as it remains goalless in the first half here. Goal kick to be taken by Kubel in the Dortmund goal. Launches it long. Sula heads it on the halfway line. Bellingham gets a touch and Sula plays it forward, looking for Adeyemi, who looked like he might be in an offside position. Flag is down for now. Adeyemi goes for goal. Ortega makes the save. And Manchester City come away with possession again. No flag from the assistant. Presumably either happy that it was onside or that maybe Manchester City could break back, but it's with City now on the halfway line. There's Joao Cancelo, lays it out to the left where Foden has it. He can take on the Dortmund defence here, checks his run, lays it back to Joao Cancelo. Gundogan, Cancelo out to the right hand side with Ruben Dias on the edge of the centre circle. Wide to Riyad Mahrez. Over to go for Mahrez, so plays it back to Diaz again. Possession just inside their own half here as Gundogan plays it to Rodri. Rodri out to the right hand side. Mahrez looking to take on Gio Reyna. Still Mahrez gives it to Rodri. Patient build up again from Manchester City as Ake strides forward. As Cancelo out to the left hand side and opts to use it. Now it's back with Foden. Plays it to Ake. Once again, Manchester City with so much possession. So much passing and moving, dragging Dortmund around inside their own half. Stones has it here. Lays it to Gundogan, still hovering around the centre circle. Manchester City just trying to invite a little bit of pressure from Dortmund, trying to get them to break their shape. As Ake picks it up, checks his run, plays it inside to Gundogan. Gundogan back to Ruben Diaz. Diaz slips it forward. Lovely ball. It's just an unfortunate slip there from Alvarez. He got it under control, so he wasn't able to play in Haaland as the Dortmund goalkeeper Kobel clears long, only as far as the head of Joao Cancelo. Bellingham now battling with Foden for possession. Bellingham winning that particular duel as the pass is intercepted by Foden. It goes out of play for a throw-in to the home side. Manchester City, the vast majority of the possession. As City come forward again here as Mahrez sends the cross in and a diving header from Mats Hummels puts it behind for a City corner. An opportunity for Manchester City from a set piece. It was a through ball intended for Haaland, and it was initially that sliding challenge from Hummels which prevented Haaland from getting the ball. As the cross came in from Mahrez, it was Hummels again diving to head the ball behind for a corner. So twice preventing Haaland from getting his opportunity at the ground where he scored so many goals. It's the club for whom he scored so many of those goals as the ball is swung into the far post. Ake heads it across, it bounces inside the penalty area, almost fell for Haaland. He didn't get anything on it in the end, and Moukoko clears it along to the halfway line. And Cancelo can start a move again for Manchester City. Rodri comes out of the centre circle and plays it out to the left to Cancelo. Rodri again with Gundogan. Looking for the clip over the top, and Cancelo's made the run. Unmarked, manages to get the ball under control just inside the penalty area, and he only got back to ensure that he couldn't move forward. He was left pretty much to his own devices for a moment or two there, João Cancelo. Dortmund perhaps a little lucky. But City did not capitalise. As Cancelo nutmegs Adeyemi. It needed a slight challenge from Jude Bellingham to regain possession for Borussia Dortmund, who have lost the ball now. Rodri and Gundogan exchanging passes in midfield. To Stones. Stones back to Gundogan again, just inside the Dortmund half now. Lots of yellow shirts between the ball and that Dortmund goal. So Mahrez plays a 1-2 with Stones. Travelling backwards, Riyad Mahrez, and gives it to Gundogan inside the centre circle. Mahrez again. Now to Nathan Ake. He looks to get forward here. Passed out to Foden on the left. Now Cancelo slightly infield. Halfway between the halfway line and the Dortmund penalty areas. Cancelo plays it back again into the centre circle for Ruben Diaz. Now Rodri turns on the halfway line. Diaz plays it forward. It comes back to Rodri off Julian Alvarez, and now out to Mahrez on the right hand side. Riyad Mahrez. Back to Rodri again. Clipped over the top by Gundogan. Alvarez with the header to Mahrez. Keeping possession well again here. Manchester City just waiting patiently for that opening. So Mahrez looks to take it on down the right. Comes inside once more. Try and switch the play here. Instead plays it to Foden, who gives it to Ake. Now Cancelo on the left hand side. A little give and go with Ake, who just assesses his options and then does play it back to Cancelo on the left hand side. Cancelo's ball back to Ake is missed by the Chelsea man, who has to run back into his own half to retrieve the ball. But City still very much in control. Just over 20 minutes played in the first half here. No goals so far. This ball over the top is perfect for Cancelo. Hummels gets there first. Now Foden, but Cancelo was offside anyway. It will be a free kick to Dortmund. A goal in the game between Benfica and Juventus. It's Benfica who lead Juventus by 1-0. Juventus just continuing to struggle in this competition. Just 3 points heading into today's game. Behind fairly early on against Benfica. To build from the back here, it's Hummels. Plays it out to the left-hand side. A little more intensity from the City attacking players when they're out of possession. Ball over the top. Intended for Adeyemi is dealt with by Cancelo. We'll have to be careful, of course, already on a yellow card. Sergio Gomez sent off after half an hour against FC Copenhagen. Guardiola will not want a repeat of that. Ake edges forward. Given to Diaz. Stones calling for it on the right hand side. Gets it in the end from Gundogan. Finds Mahrez. Mahrez plays it back to Stones. Will be pleased with the fact that they've largely restricted Manchester City to minimal chances in the first half. Dortmund a couple of half opportunities as well. It's been Manchester City largely dominant in this first half in terms of possession, even territory as well. Just haven't quite been able so far to find that opening goal. So it remains Dortmund 0, Manchester City 0 in the first half here. First goal could be all important. Manchester City get it, then they'll be very much in control. Dortmund hoping they can find a way to get the best out of Manchester City in these latter stages of the first half. So far, it's done a good job of keeping Manchester City quiet. This Dortmund 0, Manchester City 0, signalling the Duna Park. A little in the way of clear-cut chances so far. Certainly in terms of big chances, and as I mentioned, the fact that Manchester City have been dominant in terms of possession. Must be a slight concern for Dortmund, but overall they'll just be happy that they've kept the score at 0-0 so far. The ball is cleared long towards the halfway line. City again. Unable to find a way through. Mahrez plays it out to the right hand side for John Stones. Stones gives it to Rodri. Now Gundogan. Gundogan comes to the left hand side. There's Cancelo coming back onto his right foot. Give it to Gundogan once more. It's with Ruben Diaz on the edge of the centre circle for Manchester City. Gundogan and Foden exchanging quick passes. Patient build up again as Cancelo looks for the cross. It's a decent one. Hummels is there again. He's managed to get there ahead of Haaland. And the ball has come in from wide positions. As Bellingham is put under a little bit of pressure on the edge of his own penalty area. Does deal with it, and Hummels then does clear long for Dortmund, but only into the centre circle, heading back towards the Dortmund penalty area where it is picked up by Jude Bellingham. It's not given too much of a chance to express himself so far. Usually impressive in the Champions League this season. As Foden now takes the ball forward for Manchester City. He is dispossessed, and Adeyemi does well to find Brandt just inside the Dortmund half. Plays it out to the left-hand side. Reina gives it to Torgan Hazard. Still succeeding when it comes to keeping Manchester City relatively quiet in this first half. Dortmund played back to the goalkeeper Kobel, and that's with Hummels on the edge of the Dortmund penalty area. Sula, pressure from Foden, looks to go back to his goalkeeper. Schlotterbeck, clear it long, does. Into the Manchester City half. again by Gundogan. Play forward for Haaland now. There's a bit of space to run into. It's a diving challenge, which Dortmund felt was a fair one. The referee, though, not happy with the way Emre Can threw himself into that tackle, with Haaland bearing down on the Dortmund penalty area. You know what a danger he can be to Emre Can, who may have got a tiny bit of the ball. To have his legs off the ground as he threw himself into that tackle, I don't think the referees got that one wrong at all. Let's just have a word with one or two of the Dortmund players. Protesting their teammates' innocence. Plenty of discussion going on in the Manchester City ranks about the taking of the free kick. We have Mahrez, certainly an option, certainly potential to hit the ball from this kind of range. It's to the left-hand side of the penalty area from a Dortmund perspective. It's a long way out, maybe a little too far to go for goal. Mahrez and Gundogan standing over it. Mahrez leaves it for Gundogan, swings it in right-footed. Once again, is the man who gets to the ball and heads it clear. So Bellingham tries to keep the ball in play. For a bit of pressure from Foden. Could only knock it out for a throw into Manchester City. Which Foden will leave for Joao Cancelo to take. They escaped there. Dortmund. It was a dangerous situation with Haaland bearing down on goal. Though he still had a lot of work to do. He had a bit of space to run into. Can probably did the right thing, getting the challenge in, even if it did cost his side a free kick. Played half an hour now. In the first half at Signal, it did a part, no goals. In this one, there have been a few elsewhere. I'll take you on that in just a moment. So Diaz picks the ball up from Manchester City from Ake's pass. Slides it into the Dortmund half for Ian Alvarez, who then fouls Torgan Hazard. The yellow card for the Manchester City player. It's the second City player to be shown a yellow. Emre Can avoiding a booking earlier on. A little fortunate to do so. Both yellow cards so far have been dished out to Manchester City players, and Julian Alvarez becomes the second player to go in the book. Joao Cancelo, cautioned earlier. And gets back underway. Adeyemi just flicking the ball onto Mukoko, and there is a foul on Bellingham. It'll be a free kick to Dortmund here. Way inside the Manchester City half. Benfica now 2-0 up against Juventus Borussia Dortmund lead. And again against Maccabi Haifa and Leipzig 2-0 up against Real Madrid. In their game as well. So the free kick is taken by Dortmund to the penalty area. And Diaz to the edge of the box. 3-0 to continue Manchester City in possession. They've cleared the ball long. It's out of play for Dortmund. It's been taken. Now on the move with Schlossbeck. It's a crossfield pass over to the right-hand side, looking for Adeyemi, taken on by Sula. It will be with Adeyemi now, but it's space to run into. Cancelo trying to get back. Adeyemi cuts inside, plays a left-footed pass across the edge of the penalty area. It's just a slightly unfortunate slip from Bellingham. And now a break is on for City as Foden goes over the halfway line. Pushed to the ground by Emre Can. Foden felt he was fouled. Referee happy with the tackle. Dortmund could go again. Crossing the halfway line on the right-hand touchline with Adeyemi. Gives it to Bellingham. Bellingham back to Emre Can. With Bellingham once more. Slips the pass into Adeyemi. Adeyemi 1-2 with Emre Can. Bellingham. assessing his options. Plays the ball out to the left-hand side. Into Manchester City player. It was Rodri who intercepted, and Gundogan can carry the ball forward for the Premier League champions. Inside the centre circle. Gundogan gets it back again from Rodri. Cancelo to Ake. Rodri again. Again, the pace and build up from City. Try and find a way through the Dortmund defence. Haaland gives the ball away though. Then City immediately win it back, and Haaland has got space to run into. Takes a touch, looks to get the shot away early from the edge of the penalty area. Good block by Mats Hummels. He's done a really good job of defending early in Haaland, but there was certainly an opening for him there. Dortmund gave the ball away as they were trying to build the counter-attack themselves. Now they have it again with Süle. Süle switches the play out to the left-hand side. The best ball to Reina, but he's been able to hold on to it. And have possession of it. Manchester City have got themselves back into a good defensive shape. They can have 3-1 up against Juventus as things stand with 9 minutes to go to half time. Coco takes it on and gets the pass into the penalty area towards Adeyemi. Just couldn't get it under control, and it's gathered easily by Stefan Ortega. Manchester City goal hasn't really been tested so far. Played by Moukoko. Moving run and then the pass into the middle of the penalty area, looking for Adeyemi. Very nearly found him. Know that those opportunities are going to be few and far between potentially. Trying to make the most of the opportunities they do have to get forward, catch City out. 10 minutes to go in the first half, no goals yet. Carry it forward. Bellingham finds Süle. The halfway line, Adeyemi ahead of him, slips it into him nicely. Adeyemi with a cross, and then put wide. Glorious, glorious chance for the opening goal. Moukoko cannot believe he's missed this. Maybe a question mark about whether Adeyemi was onside or not. It looked like he was. The goal almost certainly would have stood. What an opportunity. That should have been the opener. That should have been a first goal for Dortmund. The young man, the 17-year-old, missing a glorious chance to put his name in the headlines. Dortmund, for all their hard work out of the ball, off the ball rather, they are getting slightly more chances at the moment. They've had the only 2 efforts on target. They've just had the biggest chance of the game. Really should be 1-0. Taking it first time, but able to find the back of the net. It looked like a tap-in. It's a big, big moment in the game. Someone's plays it back to his goalkeeper. Holland under a little bit of pressure. Bounces out of play. Thrown into Manchester City on the right-hand side. They find a way through. Yet to really test Dortmund defensively. A couple of opportunities, but no saves so far. No effort on target in the opening 37.5 minutes. It'll be a frustration for Pep Guardiola, and you have to give huge credit to Dortmund to work hard off the ball, a lot of running. Discipline required to produce this kind of display. The only thing you would say is that City do have a lot of options on the bench this evening. Creative attacking options, Kevin De Bruyne, a lot of Silva of course. Jack Grealish too. Now here is Haaland, slips it out to Mahrez, tries to get round Schlotterbeck, and nothing given by the referee. So you come away with the ball over the halfway line. Emre Can still going to Reina on the left hand side, wins a throw in. Dortmund, which has been taken quickly. So Schlotterbeck, now Hummels. Hummels with a long ball over the top. Diaz gets his head to it. Good challenge by Emre Can to win the ball back for Dortmund, and Can goes for goal. It's easily gathered by Ortega. It's an ambitious attempt from Emre Can. City make their move yet again. Cancelo making the run on the left hand side. The ball is clipped over the top, and Cancelo should get there. Looks for the cross in. It's a very high ball right to the edge of the penalty area. Mahrez was the closest player to it. Brandt gets it under control for Dortmund. Still deep in the Borussia Dortmund half as Schlotterbeck tries to clear long. And then there's a clash of heads. John Stones and Gio Reyna. It's going to be a throw in to Dortmund, but the referee will just stop play here. Reyna gets some treatment. Manchester City just lacking that final ball at the moment. It's just not quite happening for them. So Reyna gets back to his feet. It's still Benfica 3, Juventus 1, Celtic 1, Shakhtar 0. It was Zagreb 0, AC Milan 1. 3-1, Paris Saint-Germain lead against Maccabi Haifa, and RB Leipzig still 2 goals up against Real Madrid. 5 minutes to go in the first half here. Manchester City have it with Ortega. This is it out to Ruben Diaz. Carry the ball forward. Stones out to the right hand side. Actually does use him. Stones over the halfway line. Couldn't quite slip the pass into Alvarez, and was then cut out by Manchester City as Dortmund try and break. It's with Rodri. Able to carry it forward. It's a good tackle. So Dortmund win the ball back again. Adeyemi over the halfway line for the home side. Brandt making a run outside right. Plays it to Makoko, and gets his effort on target this time. And it's a fairly tame shot, which is saved by Ortega. He's getting into good positions and starting to look a real threat. Sufa Makoko never really got enough power in the shot. It's a big opportunity again though for Dortmund. They have had the better chances in this first half. Gundogan gives it to Cancelo. Gets it back again just inside the Manchester City half on the left-hand side. Plays it into the middle. Stones and Rodri exchange passes. Stones now out to Mahrez. Stones again. Rodri. Stones back once more to Ruben Diaz. Forward to Gundogan. Foden now. Find Cancelo on the left-hand side. Cancelo under a bit of pressure from Adeyemi. It's back into the middle for Gundogan. Ruben Diaz now. A bit more intensity into the move here, trying to play a pass to split the defence, but came back to him in the end. Foden picks it up with Cancelo making a run. Haaland in the middle as well. Being closely watched as always. Played out to the right hand side. Mahrez, Stones, now Rodri. Into Gundogan, who gets closer to the penalty area, out to the left hand side for Joao Cancelo, but he's beaten to the ball by Adeyemi. Makes the challenge. It's out of play for a throw. There's 2 minutes of normal time remaining in the first half. Dortmund 0, Manchester City 0. I imagine there'd be a huge amount of stoppage time at the end of this first half. It's Foden gives it to Joao Cancelo. Cancelo back again to Nathan Ake. Made by Manchester City. It's with Adeyemi. Carrying it forward towards the halfway line. This goes astray. Rodri carries it forward. Plays it out to the left to Joao Cancelo. It's back in the centre circle now with İlkay Gündoğan to go into the final minutes of normal time in the first half. No goals. So Gündoğan gives it to Stones. Stones and Mahrez. Just no way through for Manchester City at the moment. At times their final ball has been lacking in quality somewhat, which is unusual. As I mentioned already, the options on the bench from Pep Guardiola. But they can certainly change the feel of this match pretty quickly. Foden steps in to win the ball, and then Cancelo is fouled on the left-hand side by Adeyemi. Close to the touchline, it'll be a free kick in a decent position for City. They can certainly try to test the goalkeeper here in the closing stages of the first half. Be a really good position this for City to try and make the most of something in what has been a disappointing first half from their perspective. It's going to be Foden to try and cross the ball in from the left-hand side. And no doubt will be the main target, being watched closely by Emre Can as it's floated into the back post, and Ake gets there and heads it over the top. Manchester City may have just squandered their last opportunity in the first half here. It's Nathan Ake who rose highest to get his head to it. Decent contact with the header at the back post. He have actually flicked up slightly off the head of his defensive partner Ruben Diaz. Either way, sails over the bar. It's a goal kick. Almost had the full minute of stoppage time that was signalled by the fourth official just a moment ago. There is that half-time whistle. And no goals at Signal Iduna Park. Very little in the way of opportunities for the likes of Erling Haaland on his return to his former club. City have dominated possession, but Dortmund have had the better of the chances. Moukoko with the biggest miss of the night. No goals in the first 45 here. It finishes at the break. Dortmund 0, Manchester City 0. periods in that first half, but there weren't too many clear-cut opportunities, truth be told. So Bernardo Silva plays the ball inside to Phil Foden. So Dortmund had the better opportunities in that first half. Foden has it again, left-hand side, edge of the penalty area, goes back to Rodri. Manuel Akanji. Finds Gundogan. And Mahrez. Left-hand touchline back into Gundogan. City still in possession here. It's now out to the left-hand side. Bernardo Silva slips it in for Foden. And his cross is blocked by Bellingham and is behind for a Manchester City corner. Working their way through there really nicely. Manchester City. So Erling Haaland is just making his way back onto the Manchester City bench. They've been taken off at half-time. Would love to have had an opportunity to score here, but big games on the horizon. It's a busy period. The World Cup, of course, just around the corner, which he won't be going to, but he will be involved in the big games for Manchester City. They have Sevilla to come in the Champions League. May not be involved in that one if Manchester City do secure top spot tonight. Leicester City on Saturday, the early kickoff. So maybe that is more of the reason behind Guardiola opting to make that change in the second half. The ball goes out of play on the left-hand side for a Manchester City throw. This young Dortmund team have done a pretty good job so far. It looks like there could be more changes on the way as well. For Manchester City, Jack Grealish, in the process of warming up. De Bruyne as well. May be hopeful of getting on the pitch at some point this evening, but here's an opportunity for Dortmund with Hagar playing a ball into the penalty area. It was easily gathered in the end by Ortega. Tries to set City on their way quickly. John Stones, though, just losing control of the ball. This is out of play for a throw-in. Still playing on the right-hand side, Stones, of what now looks like a 3-5-2 almost. Stones just winning it back on the right-hand side again. Gundogan, though, losing possession in the centre midfield. Another of the former Dortmund players. It's recent arrival from Dortmund. Kanji slides in with a challenge to break up a potential Dortmund counter. So Giovanni Reina, who was looking to break away. It was a strong tackle from Kanji. Slightly overzealous, but he got away with it. And Stones now with a throw-in for Manchester City, which is intercepted by Hummels. And Diemi almost taking advantage there, but it is back with Manchester City again. Bernardo Silva good to get on the ball early in the second half, having not made the starting 11 this evening. Is chasing the ball in the corner as Dortmund look to clear. It's good defending by Sula. There's a throw in off the boot of Phil Foden. 5 minutes into the second half. It remains goalless. It's a signal in Deer Park. Schotterbeck playing the ball long. It's a header from Stones, but it's back with Dortmund again. Have it on the right-hand side. This is Adiemi under pressure from Nathan Ake. Schotterbeck opts to go backwards this time. goalkeeper is taking his time, eventually clearing the ball long. So City can get forward again, but it's been given away. Dortmund have it with Bellingham now, driving into the Manchester City half. Gets closer and closer to the penalty area, finds Moukoko, gives it to Gio Reyna, the three teenagers combining, and the ball over to the far post. Adeyemi couldn't get the shot away, still has it though inside the Manchester City penalty area, and then fired forward by Hazard, and eventually gathered by Ortega, bouncing around inside the 6-yard box. Came to nothing in the end. A really big opening. Adeyemi initially couldn't quite get the ball under control in time to get the shot away. Played it out to Torgan Hazard. He hit it into Bellingham. He managed to get the shot away. It was blocked by Ruben Diaz. It was an offside at the end of all that against Moukoko, but City are on the move now as Foden goes for goal from the edge of the penalty area, high over the bar with his left foot. Set up by Gundogan. Grealish and De Bruyne are warming up. Maybe introduced shortly. City look for a way to break the deadlock here. Stones plays it forward. A bit scrappy here from Manchester City. Schlotterbeck loses out to Mahrez and then somehow manages to regain possession on the touchline. It's coming together with Schlotterbeck and Rodri. Rodri seems to have come off worse, but the free kick has gone the other way. Just coming together between Rodri and Schlotterbeck. A free kick to the home side. Rodri continues to receive treatment, still in some discomfort. It's just a rather painful coming together. I don't think it'll be anything too serious, but it's a very uncomfortable collision for Rodri. Seems quite winded by the incident, so playing still halted for the time being. Rodri does now get to his feet rather gingerly. Coming off the side of the pitch here, it'll be waved back on by the referee shortly as Dortmund prepare to take the free kick. Almost 10 minutes gone in the second half. Just wonder how much longer it'll be before De Bruyne and Grealish are brought in to try and spark light into this contest. It has been a little bit flat from Manchester City. Their best performance of the season as Stones does well to win the ball back. Trying to link up with Riyad Mahrez, who then lost possession. Coco now finding Bellingham. There's a bit of space here. Adeyemi looking for the ball to be played through to him, like he might have been offside, in an offside position anyway. City regain control of the ball inside their own half. Akanji forced to go back to Ortega. Clears long towards Gundogan on the halfway line. Schlotterbeck is there again. Alvarez beaten to it. Actually, the ball goes out for a Manchester City throw. And Ray Chan with the crucial intervention this time. Rodri back on. Following that collision a short time ago. Stones preparing to take a throw from the right-hand side. Brings it back again and feeds it forward to Riyad Mahrez, coming under pressure, and the referee does give a free kick for a foul on the touchline by Torgan Hazard on Riyad Mahrez. It's been taken quickly now. Bernardo Silva, lovely ball out to the left for Foden. Here's Gundogan, misses the chance. Falls to Mahrez, looking for the space to shoot, goes down inside the penalty area, and it will be a Manchester City penalty. A huge opportunity to break the deadlock. And it was all about the pass from Bernardo Silva to Foden that seemed to split it. The Dortmund defence, Emre Can threw himself into the tackle, maybe just clipped Mahrez. As Mahrez looked to set himself for the shot. Of course, it will be checked by VAR. It looks like it will be a penalty. Won by Mahrez, taken by Mahrez, no doubt. Haaland would have been stepping up, and he's still been on the pitch. It's Mahrez with the opportunity here to give Manchester City the lead against Kobo in the Dortmund goal. Mahrez, left-footed, edges closer with a slow run up, and it's saved brilliantly by the goalkeeper. Kobo denies Mahrez, and it remains Dortmund 0, City 0. Biggest moment of the game so far. And Mahrez, who won the penalty, not able to convert the penalty. As Moukoko is fouled on the edge of the centre circle, and a yellow card is produced by Davide Massa, the Italian referee. Another booking for Manchester City. Ilkay Gundogan, the captain, is clipping the heels of Moukoko. A bad minute or so there for Pep Guardiola's team, just when it looked like they'd found their way into a strong position in this game. A big setback, a missed penalty. And it remains goalless. Frustration for Riyad Mahrez. It's a really good save to the goalkeeper's right from Kobo. Dortmund make the move again. Clipped in by Brandt. The City penalty area, headed clear, but it's come back to him once more. Now he finds Hazard on the left-hand side. Hazard looking for Reina. Manages to keep hold of it. It's with Hazard. Fires it in from the edge of the penalty area. Sails over the bar, though. It's going to be a goal kick to Manchester City. At the moment, the hero in Signal Iduna Park is Koval, the goalkeeper. Mahrez hitting it to his right-hand side. Decent height and strong palms. To keep the score at 0-0, and now the cross comes in from Manchester City, headed down by Mahrez inside the penalty area. Gundogan, and Mahrez again, intercepted by Brandt. Brandt looking to set Dortmund on their way. Finds Adeyemi out on the right-hand touchline. Adeyemi looking to slip the ball through to Moukoko up against Akanji. And Akanji really strong, holding off the challenge of the Dortmund forward to win it back. Get Manchester City moving once again. So still, we await the first goal of the game. Mahrez has it for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva on the left-hand side finds Foden. Those two linking up well in the second half. Cross goes right across the 6-yard box. Dortmund will clear. Picked up by Brandt for Dortmund here. Still inside his own half. Finds Reina out on the left-hand side. Clips it forward. for Bellingham to chase. Bellingham up against Ruben Diaz. And, Bellingham peeling for, I think, a foul. It's a throw-in that's been given. Once again, City looking dangerous down the left-hand side, and they have been for the vast majority of the second half here. There's just a check going on at the moment for a potential handball across from the Foden, which seemed to strike Sula. Just checking whether that was handball. It's not handball. The game is resumed. Manchester City have it again. Just over an hour played in this game now. Goalless as it stands. City looking to find a way through on the edge of the penalty area once again as Reina picks it up, finds Bakoko, surrounded by blue shirts, forced to go further and further back, and eventually is fouled. Dortmund will have a free kick. It's frustrating for Manchester City. Riyad Mahrez missing the penalty. Which would have given Manchester City a vital goal, put them on the brink of securing top spot. They are still heading for that at the moment. Mahrez, of course, missed a penalty in the previous game as well against FC Copenhagen. Another frustrating night for him. Of course, did really well to win the penalty in the first place. It proved to be costly as well, that penalty miss against Copenhagen, because 5 minutes later, Manchester City were down to 10 men. Will it be costly again this evening? City losing possession inside the Dortmund half. It's with Reina now. Slotterbeck driving forward from the edge of his own box and goes to ground. I think looking for the free kick, nothing given. Still waiting for those changes from Pep Guardiola. Looked like he was certainly considering the option of Kevin De Bruyne and Jack Grealish. Cole Palmer as well looks to be warming up. And the less than surprised perhaps if Riyad Mahrez is one of those to make way. A couple of disappointing appearances from him in the Champions League of late. 2 penalty misses in consecutive games. Certainly far from ideal from City, who still trying to find a way through in this one. Stones finds Gundogan. Gundogan to Rodri. Plays it out to the left-hand side to Bernardo Silva, who has looked lively since coming on. Linking up well with Phil Foden in particular, as Foden gets on the ball now. Ake. Back to Gundogan and Ake again. Foden again. Still lots of possession. Very little in the way of end product for Manchester City at the moment. Rodri to Stones. He plays it out to the right to Kanji. Far forward here, gives it to Mahrez. Mahrez back to the middle, finds Stones. Stones driving forward, gives it to Foden. Bernardo Silva out on the left hand side. Back to Foden on the edge of the penalty area, swings in the cross, headed away by Hummels, who's been outstanding this evening. Kept Haaland really quiet in that first half. It's been really solid since the start of the second as well. It's been a frustrating night for Manchester City. They still go in search of the opening goal. Mahrez back to Stones in the centre of the Dortmund half. It's with Bernardo Silva again. Silva. Rodri Foden. Okay, and Stones again. Plenty of possession here for Manchester City. Stones once more, looking for the through ball. Finds Gundogan, fires it in near post. Comfortable save. Just had to bend down and scoop the ball up there. The Dortmund goalkeeper never really tested. Aside from the penalty, he's not had a great deal to do. Playing his part at the moment. As we approach the final quarter of the game. He has it for Manchester City just inside the Dortmund half, plays it out to the left-hand side. Bernardo Silva looks for the early cross this time. Picked up by Mahrez on the edge of the penalty area, plays a lovely pass, great hit, great save. It's Foden, and he's smothered by the goalkeeper again. It's still in play here, Bernardo Silva. Back to Foden, and Rodri clips it into the penalty area. Torgan Hazard underneath it, it's going to come to Mahrez. Still edge of the box for City. Danger not clear yet for Dortmund. Akanji has it. Dortmund now back in some kind of defensive shape. Foden. Down to the left to Nathan Ake. Ake looking to return the pass to Foden. Nowhere really for him to go, but he's kept possession well. Giving it to Ake and then Rodri. And now Stones. And now Akanji. And Mahrez. Comes out again to Rodri. Clips it up over the top. Mahrez hooks it across the 6-yard box, gathered by the goalkeeper yet again, and it remains 0-0. Kobel called into action once more a few moments ago. A great save to deny Julian Alvarez a goal in this Champions League fixture. Taking his time, Kobel here. Some pretty desperate stuff at the back from Dortmund to try and keep Manchester City at bay. Less than a quarter of the game remaining here. It is still 0-0. Played out wide. Free kick is going to go Dortmund's way for a foul by Bernardo Silva on Mats Hummels. They've certainly been a little more threatening in the second half, Manchester City. Obviously the penalty and the effort from Alvarez was saved by the goalkeeper. It looked like it took a bit of a deflection as well. On its way through, it was a fairly nice height for the goalkeeper, but that deflection just made it a little bit trickier. So far, Dortmund staying in the game. Tonight means that a draw against Sevilla, against Copenhagen rather, in their last game would be enough to see them through, regardless of what happens between Manchester City and Sevilla. In their hands either way. The point here is better than nothing for Dortmund. They obviously would potentially keep their hopes of winning the group alive. Really been able to threaten much in the second half. It's been all Manchester City. As Ake plays it out to the left-hand side for Bernardo Silva. Back to Nathan Ake again. Foden just ahead of him. It's played through towards Foden by Silva. It was Bellingham who stepped in to win it back, and then Foden is caught. The referee happy for play to continue as City still have possession. Rodri has it on the edge of the penalty area. Good challenge by Brandt to win it back for Dortmund. They will surely just look to counter whenever they possibly can here in the second half. Haven't had many opportunities to do so far. Bellingham does bring it forward again. Moukoko on the wing, on the right-hand side, gives it to Brandt. It's a good challenge by Rodri to win the ball back for Manchester City, and now Foden on his way down the left-hand side. Good sliding tackle by Hummels yet again, but it's fallen to Bernardo Silva, who's got options alongside him, with Gundogan making a run. Silva's held on to it. Coco gets back and makes a good tackle, and wins the ball for Dortmund. Preventing the corner in the process. Dortmund try and play their way out of a tight spot here. Hazard gives it to Emre Can. Now Brandt. Haven't made any changes yet, Dortmund. Around about a third of the ball in this game, but the shot opens up for Adeyemi on the edge of the penalty area, and a handball has been given. It's a yellow card as well. A free kick in a really good position here for Borussia Dortmund. Handball, the call. Manchester City are not happy about it. It was Adeyemi going for goal. Strikes Akanji on the arm. Play suggests it's a little bit harsh because his arm is sort of sticking out, but it's in the most unnatural position you can imagine. Hit very hard from close range. So a tough one for Manuel Akanji, who picks up a booking. 18 minutes to go. Daniel Malen is getting ready to come on here for Dortmund. Started the last game. He's going to take the place of the man who's just won this free kick. Adeyemi making way. The 23-year-old from the Netherlands, Daniel Malen. From the PSV. Comes on just as Dortmund are about to take a free kick. Their right-hand side, just outside the penalty area. 5 in the wall, plus it's now 6 in the wall as Foden joins. There's one man lying behind. It's Bernardo Silva in that draft excluded position. So Hazard goes for goal from the free kick. It bounces off the wall. Comes all the way back to Hummels, who clips it forward into the penalty area. Headed out of play though. Sula, who was trying to knock it back across goal. Just a little too much on the pass from the Dortmund captain. He's had a pretty impressive performance overall this evening. Grealish getting ready to come on here for Manchester City. Conversation with Pep Guardiola on the touchline. As the frustration builds. It remains goalless, 16 minutes left. That's where Shakhtar have equalised against Celtic. Benfica 4-1 up against Juventus. Milan have just scored a 4th against Dinamo Zagreb. Paris Saint-Germain have their 6th against Maccabi Haifa, 6-2 in that one at the moment. 4-1 up at half-time. Leipzig still leading Real Madrid by 2-1. So City continue to search for a way forward here. Ake has it inside the Dortmund half, gives it to Rodri. It's back towards the middle where Stones then plays it into the centre circle for Diaz. Akanji to Mahrez. Mahrez back to Akanji on the halfway line for Manchester City. Into the yellow card just a short time ago. The latest player to go into the referee's notebook. It's 4 yellows now for Manchester City in this game as we enter the final 15 minutes. Kanji has it again on the halfway line. Stones. Rodri. Foden and Ake, and now Bernardo Silva. Left-hand touchline again. To Stones. Rodri. Kanji. Mahrez into Gundogan. On the right-hand side of the Dortmund penalty area, trying to find a way through. Stones has it again in the pretty central position. Gets it out to the left to Ake. Now Foden. Back to Ake and Rodri. City passing the ball around deep in the Dortmund half, looking for a way into the penalty area. Will they be able to find it here with Mahrez? Gives it to Akanji again. He then plays it back to Ruben Diaz and Rodri. Everybody, Ortega captain the Dortmund half at the moment. Ake to Rodri. Rodri just waiting for the space to open up. Gives it instead to Stones. Keeps hold of the ball. Back to Rodri again. This is a very familiar pattern from Manchester City, just passing the ball side to side, looking for the openings, trying to be patient. Ake to Rodri. Back to Ake. Moving the ball well. Manchester City, but just not able to find a way through this Dortmund defence. Had so much possession in this game. Just hasn't come to too much as Foden tries to wriggle his way through 2 or 3 Dortmund players. It's Dortmund who win possession back again. Try and counter here. Too many options from Moukoko, who did have hold of it. Manchester City start again. Kanji has it. Plays it out to the right-hand side, just inside the Dortmund half here, Gundogan. An exchange of passes with John Stones. Gives it back to Akanji, still on the halfway line here, Manchester City. Remains goalless at Signal Iduna Park. 12 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. This penalty from Riyad Mahrez, the big talking point of the game so far. So Manchester City wait to make that change. Grealish to be introduced shortly. Hasn't been out of play in a while. Kanji finds Stones. Stones back to Ruben Diaz. Nathan Ake. To Bernardo Silva. With Ake. And then Diaz inside the centre circle. Rodri just holding up play and then knocking it out to the left to Ake. Back with Rodri again. Still on the halfway line here. Manchester City not really making much progress as Stones carries it forward. Lays it out to the right to find the Kanji. Kanji surrounded by yellow shirts. Has to go back to Stones again. City move forward once more from the halfway line. Foden now on the left-hand side, gives it to Bernardo Silva. That's been a familiar pattern emerging in the second half since the introduction of the Portuguese at half-time. Ake again, out on the left-hand touchline. Side to Rodri. Gives it to Ruben Diaz. Edging forward here, Manchester City. Everyone for Dortmund back behind the ball, trying to keep their shape. Trying to frustrate Manchester City. Of course, a draw would be good enough to get them that all-important first place in the group. As Foden tries his cross, it's blocked. Loops up in the air. Emre Can's header away, not the most convincing. Brandt gets back to hook it further away to safety. He heads it backwards for Ruben Diaz to collect. Akanji again, out to the right for Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez back again to Akanji. Rodri once more, Nathan Ake gives it to Bernardo Silva. I don't know how long Jack Grealish has been waiting down on the touchline, but it feels like a long time since the ball last went out of play. Foden comes forward. It's for the pass into Bernardo Silva. It's a good one inside the penalty area. And they will have to settle for a corner here, Manchester City. Nice link-up play again between Foden and Bernardo Silva. That's the most likely source of the goal. And finally, that change is going to be made by Manchester City with 10 minutes to go. Jack Grealish has been waiting a while. There's going to be a change for Dortmund as well. It's going to be Phil Foden to make way for Manchester City, placed by his England teammate, Jack Grealish. Foden has looked threatening in the second half. Along with Bernardo Silva on that left-hand side. Modeste is getting ready to come on for Dortmund here. Will take the place of Torgan Hazard. Looks like it's going to be a double change, in fact, for Borussia Dortmund. So the youngster Makoko also making way. Marius Wolf and Anthony Modeste, the two coming on. Marius Wolf, 27-year-old. He's had a couple of loan spells in recent seasons, Hertha Berlin and FC Köln. German under-20 international Anthony Modeste. The other player to make an entrance as Manchester City take their corner. It's not been cleared by Dortmund. It's going to come out to Mahrez. On the right-hand side of the penalty area, goes back towards Silva, who pushes the ball forward. It's headed out of play for a throw. So just mentioning Anthony Modeste, the experienced Frenchman, coming on here, 34 years old. Double change for Dortmund. Jack Grealish on Phil Foden for Manchester City. 68% of the possession in this game so far. You'd say Dortmund have had the better chances really, although Ortega's not really had a save to make. And back to the opportunity in the first half. By Sufa Makoko as the biggest moment of their night. Very, very close to giving Dortmund the lead. We're going to get a late goal here. It's with Riyad Mahrez inside the penalty area. Lays it out for the captain Gundogan, who was just quite in a position to hit the ball the way he wanted. The pass maybe not quite the best for Riyad Mahrez, just a little bit behind Gundogan, who was on the edge of the penalty area, central position. It felt like he was stretching back to try and reach the ball when he hit it. It's a disappointing end again to the move for Manchester City. It was an offside flag anyway against Riyad Mahrez. So even if he had hit the target, it wouldn't have counted. This young Dortmund team had a good shift this evening. Might be able to snatch all 3 points as Stones struggles to clear and Ake has to help him out. Alvarez trying to flick the ball on for Manchester City. So bounces out of play for a City throw. Just wonder whether there is going to be a moment of late drama here. Plenty of goals elsewhere. This is the only goalless game being played at the moment. The other 5 goals all over the place. 4-3, 4-0, 6-2, 3-1. Goals everywhere. Not here. Signal Iduna Park so far as it's played up towards Gundogan. Most advanced City player down on the right hand side. Schlotterbeck does well to just hold off any pressure and deal with the danger for Dortmund. Hummels is also outstanding this evening, clears it long. Rodri gives it to Jack Grealish. He's not really had a chance to get on the ball since coming on. Can he make something happen now? Comes inside and gives it to Rodri. In a familiar position of Dortmund, getting everybody behind the ball, staying disciplined, staying focused. City try and work out a way to break them down. With Grealish on the left-hand side. Plays a lovely ball in to Bernardo Silva, hit across the face of goal, kept alive by Mahrez. Gets to the byline, pulls it back, hit towards goal, and Kanji can only hit another of the former Dortmund players. Gundogan, flag's gone up for offside now. Possibly earlier in the move against Bernardo Silva. So the goal been scored at any there it wouldn't have counted. So Papadopoulos gets ready to come on for Dortmund for the final few moments here. In place of Giovanni Reina. Papadopoulos. Minutes to go here. Stoppage time. So we'll await the opening goal still. We're going to get some late drama here. Dortmund snatch a win. Been under so much pressure in the second half. They barely threatened. At the same time, apart from the penalty, the City haven't exactly been peppering the Dortmund goal. Kick has gone just the City's way here for a foul by Hummels, a little overly aggressive in his challenge on Alvarez. So Riyad Mahrez makes way, a late change for Manchester City. So Hummels continues to organise the back line here, he's been outstanding. City find that late goal. Cole Palmer, by the way, brought on for Riyad Mahrez. In the closing stages here, promising young player. He's trying to run in behind there on the left-hand side. It was cut out well by Schlotterbeck, who's been outstanding. The whole of the back line really has been superb for Dortmund this evening. They haven't really threatened in the second half. It has been all Manchester City, but such a good, disciplined defensive display. Can't help but admire that from Borussia Dortmund here. Frustrating night in the Champions League yet again for Manchester City, who are about to top the group, so that will. Palmer is calling for the ball on the right-hand side. Gets it now from Akanji. Find a way through. Akanji has it again. Grealish. Now Cole Palmer. Trying to work his way into the penalty area, cleared away by Dortmund. Silva now. Last minute of normal time. Grealish out to the left-hand side again to Silva. Now Ake and Rodri. Dortmund looking to hold strong here. Whatever's left in the second half. A lot of delays in truth, so it may not be a great deal of stoppage time to be added on. Cole Palmer running it behind, getting onto a ball over the top and connecting with it. Easily gathered by the goalkeeper. Being one of the heroes tonight after his penalty save. Kobel denying Riyad Mahrez. Appreciate the effort of all the players. A point tonight does make a difference. It means they only need one more in their final game of the group stage against Copenhagen. Pretty confident of getting themselves over the line in this group. Sevilla certainly have the toughest task. They will need Copenhagen to do them a favour by beating Dortmund, and they will need to beat Manchester City, of course. Discussions going on here because Dortmund will be given a free kick. Even Diaz, player penalised for high boot. It's a free kick in a fairly central area. Too far from goal for a shot. Close enough. Brand can try and deliver into the box and maybe pick out somebody. By Brad, not dealt with totally yet by Manchester City, and then free kick is awarded. Foul, I think, by Anthony Modeste. Inside the penalty area. Bit offside, actually, against Modeste. Dortmund too early. And touched the ball since he's come on. Kanji has it here for Manchester City on the right hand side, leaves it for Palmer. Palmer turns well and skips past the challenge. The ball is eventually knocked out of play by Emre Can for a throw in to Manchester City. Almost 2 of the 3 additional minutes played now in stoppage time. Looks like Dortmund might be able to get a point here, which will help make that qualification process just a little bit more straightforward. It will be enough in their final game to secure second spot. City will be enough in their final game to secure second spot. City are going to take top place in the group, which is what they would have wanted at the start. And then their frustration of both this game and their previous game as well against FC Copenhagen, which also finished goalless. Also saw Manchester City miss a penalty through Riyad Mahrez. Almost looks now as the City players pass the ball around as though both teams are resigned to the fact that this is going to finish level, unless City can spark into life late on here. They won't want to take any risks just in case they end up slipping up in the closing stages. Bernardo Silva has it. The referee looks at his watch and there is the final whistle. No goals this evening. Kobel the hero for Dortmund as he saved the penalty from Riyad Mahrez. It's a decent point for the home side, who now need just one more point to ensure that they'll be in the knockout stage at the expense of Sevilla. 1 point against Copenhagen will do it for them. City have confirmed top spot with another goalless draw. They'll be a little frustrated having missed that penalty, but it's enough to see them win the group and move on in the Champions League. Final score at Signal Iduna Park: Borussia Dortmund 0, Manchester City 0.